Hi and welcome back to the Hellraiser blog. First one we've done in a while. It's going to go out on a weekly basis though. From now I'm going to go out on a Friday morning. It'll always cover the latest Hellraiser boxing news and give you my take on what's going on in the boxing world. What's going on at the moment in the boxing world? Well, the big news obviously is Mayweather and Pacquiao. Looks like it's on. Not long to go, but the tickets are out now, and definitely the biggest fight has ever been in my lifetime. So that's all quite exciting. Uh, what was also exciting is this week we actually my boxers Junior Saeed, Daryl Williams, Asinia Byfield just made his pro debut, and the trainer Ryan Barrett, amongst a few others, took part in shooting the trailer for the Mayweather Pacquiao fight. And so you can watch out, and on some of the trailers I'll certainly be tweeting the trailer and putting it on my Facebook so you can see it. But it was really good fun. They came into our gym, Limehouse Marina Elite, and they interviewed some fighters about what they thought was going to happen in the fight, and also took some footage of them training. So keep an eye out for that in the next 7 days. In terms of the result, I think Mayweather on point. I can't say it with any certainty. Fight like that, I don't think anyone can outright predict, because there's a lot of to me there's a lot of unknowns. The age factor, they haven't been boxing that sort of frequently, and you just don't know if one of them could get old overnight. If they can perform up to the level that we expect from them. We'll see. I fancy Mayweather on points. I mean, he tends to do well against guys that come at him, like I think Pacquiao will come at him. Pacquiao tends to struggle against counterpunchers. Mayweather, obviously, the best counterpuncher probably I've ever seen. So I'll go with the favourite. I'll go with Mayweather. But I wouldn't be that surprised if if it could go either way. I mean, Pacquiao's done it before. He's overturned the odds, and he's a great fighter, as he's proved. Funny enough, I always remember the first time I ever met Mayweather was in the Nevada Partners gym, which is closed down now in Las Vegas, and didn't really know much about him. I sort of recognised the name, but I sort of asked him a bit about himself, and he told me, he said, "I'm the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. That's who I am." And on that introduction, I thought he was probably sort of exaggerating a little bit, but look, if he beats Pacquiao and then retires, he will be known as the best. So he actually got it right. So well done him for an outstanding career so far, and almost inevitably going to go on to greater things still. Big news this week: Kelly Maloney announced her return to professional boxing. She's got two fighters. I think they were Scottish guys. And Tommy Gilmore was involved, good mate of mine. So I'm really glad that she's decided to get involved in boxing again, because, for one, previously Frank, now Kelly, never got the credit for actually her boxing knowledge. Very, very sound judge of a fighter, and just knew how to communicate and how to get the best out of a lot of fighters. Obviously, what she did with Lennox Lewis, a tremendous achievement. And if boxing had lost her, boxing would have been really would have been weakened. Having people like her involved in the game is good for everybody, because it rubs off on us. I certainly learned a huge amount working with Kelly, and I'd like to go back and work more with her. So hopefully we can do that now. Next news. Oh, going to surprise you now. I've got a Brazilian. No, not that kind of Brazilian. I've got a Brazilian boxer, Rafael Zambano. Rafael Zambano, very, very tough guy. He was rated in the top 10 in the WBA, and boxed recently. Took Charles Martin almost 10 rounds. Got stopped in the last round after giving him a really good fight. He's going to be boxing Anthony Joshua coming up, which is, for me, is the hardest fight of his career. The thing is, Rafael is very, very tough. He is very fit. He's trained. He is in good nick. he will have a go. I mean, do I expect him to beat Anthony Joshua? I manage Zambano, so I'm slightly biased. I absolutely don't. I mean, uh, as a prediction, I'd say you got to predict that Joshua will win. I think what's interesting in it as a fight, firstly, is how long can Rafael last? Can he go the distance? Joshua has shown himself so far, to me, to be one of the, or probably, I'd say in the top 4 or 5 in the world. Obviously, he's not rated in the top 4 or 5 in the world, but right up there. He has phenomenal hand speed, punch variety. He's very strong. Having had the pleasure of meeting him several times and spent different times with him, right from when he was still an amateur, very level-headed guy. Everything that you want to see in a boxer for him to do well, it's sort of there. So it's a really, really hard fight for Rafael, but what do? He got himself rated in the top 10 in the world. He had an eliminator, he got beat. Now he's just making the money that he can where he can. The issue that I suppose I have a little bit is with a guy like Joshua, you can get taken out with one punch any time, which can actually with anyone, but I have no problem, as you may or may not know about me, but I manage a lot of boxers, many on the way up, many guys that are champions, some on the way down who have sort of had their career where they go and get built up and marketed, and they have like a title fight. They might even win the title the first one, but then when they're on the way down, they take fights on the road. And I have no problem with that, but when I don't mind if a guy gets beat and he's earning money every week and he uses that money. I just had one last night who boxed, James Child, who paid for his diving course out of his boxing going around on the road, and now he's actually done his course and he's earning money as a diver, and he can do that right the way through his life, and it's thanks to the money that he made in boxing after a conversation I had with him when we decided, right, he was a bit down the dumps, and that's what you want to do. You want to be a diver. Okay, that's your objective, so this is how we achieve it. You go and we'll put a bit of money aside each time, and he's done it, and it really, really was a great achievement for him, and it really was very worthwhile from all of our points of view, and we got through. Because he gets beat doesn't mean we put him in to get slaughtered. We try and work our way every fight. Right, this guy's got a good left hook. We're going to do this. We're going to box a certain way against it, and often we're successful and we get him through unhurt. The thing with Joshua is obviously he's a huge puncher, so Zambano's getting well paid. That's great. As his manager, certainly, if I think he's at any more danger than he would be normally, i.e. he's not defending himself, or he'll be out of, he'll give it as good a go as he can, because it's worth him doing that. If imagine he unhinges Joshua, then we really, got something great for him. He's had a good career, Zambano, and he's a tough fighter. I'd say I can't think of anybody that's as durable as him that Joshua's fought. In fact, I'd say that with confidence. There isn't. So we might see Joshua extended a little bit. That's more to me that the beauty of this fight is that he does have the potential to cause Joshua problems that Joshua has not had so far. I think if Joshua just flies into him, then he can run into problems. Joshua's going to have to use his brain. He's going to have to box him, which he has done anyway. But a lot of the fights, if he just ran at the opponent, raining punches on them, he would get them out of there, because they just wouldn't be equipped to deal with. I mean, Joshua's phenomenally fast, punches are everything that comes with being who he is. I know a lot of my followers on Twitter and that they're into gambling and betting, so I certainly wouldn't advise to bet on the Zambano win, because truthfully I'd say the odds are massively stacked against that. But he might take Joshua a bit longer than people anticipate. He might not, so don't put your money there if you can't afford to lose it. But that's what I think. Anyway, I think that's enough for today's Hellraiser blog. I'm off to Derry in Northern Ireland next week, where we've got Eamon O'Kane fighting, in fact it's at Lavey, which is just the nearest town to Derry in Northern Ireland. Eamon O'Kane defending his IBF Intercontinental title on his way, hopefully, to a world title challenge. So we'll see how that goes, and I've been matching that show all this week. I've got 2 fights to make tomorrow morning, then we're all set for the show. So I will actually speak more probably next week about that fight, because from my point of view as a promoter, they've actually put something together pretty extraordinary, and I'll explain why it's so extraordinary next week. Anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in. It's been a pleasure. And the Hellraiser blog now, every week, it will be on YouTube, on my Facebook, on Twitter. You can watch it, and I'm always very happy to hear your comments. Cheers, guys. Catch you soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.